Heya Cryptozens, it's 10 p.m. Pacific time. My name is Nikodemus, and welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter, where we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. And it's Friday, 10 p.m., January 6th, 2023. Do you think some NFT founders out there might be shaking in their boots just a little bit? Because it seems like rugging the NFT community might be enough to get you arrested, maybe even thrown into the big house. Now, here's what I mean. Aurélien Michel is a 24-year-old French citizen. He has been arrested and charged with fraud in relation to the sale of NFTs called Mutant Ape Planet. It's alleged that Michel was involved in a scheme to defraud investors of approximately $2.9 million. Michel was arrested on arriving at JFK Airport in New York. Now, Mutant Ape Planets were knockoffs of the popular Mutant Ape yacht clubs. Michel and other unnamed individuals have been charged with fraud in relation to the sale of NFTs. Michel and the other defendants promised buyers of the NFTs that they would receive benefits including rewards, raffles, exclusive access to other crypto assets, as well as support from a community wallet. They also made somewhat vague promises about acquiring metaverse land for the NFT project. However, these promises were not fulfilled, and the nearly $3 million in earnings from the sale of the NFTs was transferred to other wallets, including those controlled by Michel. Buyers became suspicious of the transfers of funds. Further, Michel, posting under the pseudonym James, admitted to defrauding the buyers in the community's Discord channel. Michel, posting as James, wrote that they had not intended to defraud the buyers, but the community had become too toxic. He also admitted that their behavior had contributed to the situation. Thomas Federuso is the acting special agent in charge with the Internal Revenue Service. He's with their criminal investigation team. He wrote that Michel is accused of defrauding investors by making false representations about those giveaways and those tokens and the merchandise collections. Federuso also said that Michel can no longer blame the NFT community for his criminal behavior and that he will face the consequences of his actions. Michel's initial appearance before a U.S. magistrate judge in the Eastern District of New York is scheduled for the afternoon on Thursday. U.S. authorities are looking into FTX's Nishad Singh. According to bankruptcy filings, FTX gave Singh a loan worth $543 million. Now, Singh was reportedly part of a chat group involved in wire fraud. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Commodities Futures Trading Commission, and prosecutors are investigating Singh. Now, he is a former engineering director at FTX. He stands accused of potentially defrauding investors and users. According to Bloomberg, U.S. officials are examining individuals in the inner circle of Sam Bankman-Fried as a part of their investigation into the exchange's collapse. Sam has denied all criminal charges against him. Caroline Ellison, the former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang, a co-founder of FTX, have both entered plea deals with prosecutors. In those deals, they admitted to knowingly committing crimes while working for FTX. At present, it's not known what role Singh may have played in the alleged illegal activity and regulatory violations at FTX Group. He was reportedly a member of the wire fraud chat group with Ellison, Bankman-Fried, and Wang, which allegedly discussed the illegal financial connections between FTX and Alameda. During his time at FTX, Singh lived in the Bahamas near other employees of the company. The case against Bankman-Fried is ongoing, with his criminal trial set to begin on October 2nd. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, where the FTX criminal cases are being handled, announced on January 4th the creation of a task force to trace and recover missing user funds and investigate the exchange's collapse. The case against FTX and its executives included allegations that the company used assets from the crypto exchange to invest through Alameda Research without the consent or knowledge of users or investors. As part of her plea agreement, Ellison admitted that Alameda had access to a borrowing facility through FTX from 2019 to 2022. FTX Group filed for bankruptcy on November 11th. The company's bankruptcy proceedings in the District of Delaware are ongoing, with the next scheduled hearing happening on January the 11th. According to bankruptcy court filings, Alameda lent $1 billion to Bankman-Fried and $543 million to Singh. In the meantime, FTX's U.S. leadership and the Bahamas liquidators have announced that they have resolved most of their issues. This follows weeks of allegations from both parties. It's been pretty embarrassing to watch, to be honest. And so, FTX's U.S. leadership and the Bahamas liquidators have agreed on how to inventory and dispose of assets. FTX Trading filed for bankruptcy in the U.S. in November, while FTX Digital Markets entered liquidation in the Bahamas. This is the source of conflicts between the U.S. leadership and the Bahamas liquidators in recent weeks. FTX's CEO John J. Ray III said that the company's leadership and the Bahamas liquidators had constructive meetings in Miami this week. Although some issues remain, many have been resolved, and there is a path forward to resolve the rest. Brian Sims, one of the liquidators, said he looks forward to working with the U.S. bankruptcy managers. And letting no crisis go to waste, the U.S. government plans to increase its scrutiny of the cryptocurrency industry in 2023. The SEC, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, and the IRS are taking a look at cryptocurrency regulations and increasing industry oversight. 14 years after the creation of Bitcoin, the U.S. government is becoming more interested in the future and economic impact of cryptocurrencies. On December 14th, the Financial Accounting Standards Board discussed new requirements for companies that hold cryptocurrencies in their financial statements. These proposed rules will be released in the first half of 2023. The SEC recently asked companies to consider the impact of cryptocurrency in their financial disclosures. These changes could affect many companies in the cryptocurrency and financial services industries. Legal specialists believe that these changes will have a significant impact on financial markets and the cryptocurrency industry. The SEC is expected to increase its regulatory examinations of companies in the cryptocurrency industry. This could lead to more regulatory enforcement proceedings and legal challenges to the Commission's jurisdiction. The IRS is focusing on cryptocurrency and hiring more agents to work on digital assets and cybercrime. The IRS said it hopes to work with crypto companies and fight financial crime. The U.S. regulators are also working on a new regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies after the collapse of FTX in November. This is expected to lead to increased scrutiny of the cryptocurrency market in the coming year. Some people believe that increased regulation and oversight of the cryptocurrency industry will lead to a more stable market, as well as improved protection for investors and consumers. And from one fraudster to a couple of others, we have Three Arrows Capital news. The founders of Three Arrows Capital, Suzu and Kyle Davies, have been subpoenaed and must give all documents in their possession. That's even if they don't have them directly or if they're controlled by a third party. On January 5th, Suzu and Kyle Davies, the founders of Three Arrows Capital, were subpoenaed on Twitter. This subpoena was granted by the Southern District of New York Bankruptcy Court, and that was in the case for Davies, who's a U.S. citizen, and by Singapore's court for both founders. This subpoena was issued after the liquidators received permission from Singaporean authorities following a U.S. bankruptcy court order, according to the advisory firm Teneo. The founders have not cooperated with the liquidators in recent months, according to a hearing presentation on December 2nd. As a result, they subpoenaed the founders in order to access things like seed phrases and private keys for 3AC's digital and fiat assets. They are also looking for information about securities and unregistered shares and any accounts held on centralized or decentralized exchanges. The hedge fund, which had a peak network of $10 billion, filed for bankruptcy on July 1st under Chapter 15. The subpoena has asked that Suzu and Kyle Davies must provide all documents in their possession, custody, or control, even if they do not have them directly or if they are controlled by another legal or non legal entity that's affiliated with them. If the required documents are no longer in possession, the subpoena requires them to explain why they are unavailable and to provide information about the nature and date of the document. In December 2022, liquidators announced that they were seeking to subpoena the founders of Three Arrows Capital through Twitter. The hedge fund has faced challenges in its bankruptcy process due to the uncertain location of its founders. The liquidators have previously said that the founders are located in Indonesia and the United Arab Emirates, where it's difficult to enforce foreign court orders. The citizenship and location of the founders have also been questioned by the court, as it could affect the court's ability to assert jurisdiction over them. Binance has joined an association that addresses compliance with global sanctions. This is because the exchange has been getting a lot of attention from policymakers due to sanctions on Russia and Iran. Binance joined the Association of Certified Sanctioned Specialists to make sure that it follows rules for global sanctions. Binance's team will get training from the association. The association offers an exam to test people's knowledge and skills about sanctions. Binance's global head of sanctions said that the exchange follows rules for sanctions on Russia. Binance wants to be a good example for the industry. There have been reports that Binance may have let Iran based users access some services. This goes against U.S. sanctions. This has caused officials to pay attention to Binance. Binance's team will learn about rules from the U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Control as to how to avoid breaking them. This will come with training from the Association of Certified Sanctions Specialists. Binance is a large cryptocurrency exchange. It operates in over 100 countries with different rules. In December, Binance joined a cryptocurrency industry lobbying group to ask for clear rules in the US. Some officials have looked into whether Binance broke laws against money laundering and sanctions. The value of the Tron token dropped on Friday as tensions grew at the Huobi cryptocurrency exchange. Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, is on the advisory board at Huobi. The exchange announced that it would be reducing its staff by 20% and requiring employees to be paid in stablecoins. Okay, so it's also reportedly closed their internal communication channels to address an internal rebellion. Kind of exciting. Tron's value has decreased by almost 8% in the past 24 hours. The value of HT tokens, which are native to Huobi, increased by up to 11% in the past 24 hours. The Tron-based stablecoin USDD fell by 3 cents and is no longer pegged to the US dollar. This caused the value locked in Tron-based decentralized applications to drop by 2%, according to DeFi Llama data. Interestingly, a wallet connected to Sun transferred $100 million in stablecoins to Huobi. There were two transactions of $50 million each, USDC and USDT. The wallet is connected to Sun on Etherscan, and that means that the company running the Explorer has on-chain evidence to suggest that he owns it. The wallet holds $16.5 million of USDD. At one point in its history, the wallet contained $2.5 billion of Ethereum. Most of the funds came from Just Lend. Just Lend is a lending platform on Tron. Those funds were sent through Binance to a wallet before being transferred to Huobi. Now, those rumors that internal communications may have been shut down caused the price of the Huobi token to drop. James Hume is the head of sales at Huobi Global. He said in a LinkedIn post that most, if not all, of the rumors circulating were either totally false or inaccurate. Hume wrote, quote, "Our internal communications platform is not down, and it's business as usual, apart from a few layoffs." After the transactions to Huobi, some exchange users noted that a $1 million buy wall had been created for the token. That means somebody was willing to purchase $1 million worth of Huobi at a given price, which would decrease the chances of the token falling below that price. The head of the French central bank wants cryptocurrencies to be licensed before the markets in crypto assets standards are set. They believe that the current problems in the crypto market make it necessary to implement these new requirements as soon as possible. The governor of the Bank of France wants stricter regulations for cryptocurrency companies in France. These regulations would come before the European Union's MiCA regulation. That regulation creates a licensing system for crypto firms throughout the EU and is set to be implemented in 2024. Getting a license for the digital asset service providers in France is currently optional, and no providers have one. Approximately 60 firms do have the less strict registration from the French Markets Authority. If the governor of the Bank of France believes that the current problems in the crypto market show the need for a licensing requirement in France, he said that it's important for France to switch to mandatory licensing for DASPs as soon as possible, rather than just registration. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because as soon as you stop listening, I will stop talking. We'll see you tomorrow night.